Assalamualaikum and greetings to those who are watching. Before I start my presentation, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Najah Shafiqah binti Abdullah Saleh and my matriculation number is 9804160650160001. I am an Open University Malaysia OUM student from Kota Baru Centre and currently majoring in Bachelor of Education Teaching English as a Second Language. For this subject, which is English for Oral Communication, I was assigned to make a recording of myself presenting an informative speech with the topic culture. The topic culture itself is already quite broad, therefore I had narrowed down the options and decided to go for a more small topic, which is traditional clothes of Malaysia. Before I elaborate more on traditional clothes of Malaysia, first let me give you a brief explanation about the meaning of culture. Culture is a social behavior that is practiced in human society. It is considered as a key concept of study of mankind that covers multiple varieties of phenomena which has been passed down from generations to generation. In other words, culture is a group of patterns in human activities in a certain community that gives the value of importance. Some examples of cultures are foods, clothes, traditions, religious beliefs, and so on. Now, let's get on to the subtopic, which is traditional clothes of Malaysia. As we all know, there are multiple races in Malaysia such as Iban, Kadazan Dusun, Singh, and more. However, I will focus only on the three main races of Malaysia, which is Malay, Chinese, and Indian. First, let's start off with the Malays. The traditional attire for Malays are baju kurung for the ladies and baju Melayu for the men. Both of these clothes originated from Malacca. Back in the 15th century, Tun Hasan Temenggung, which was the Sultan of Malacca at the time, was the person responsible for popularizing the baju Melayu and baju kurung. Originally, the baju Melayu created with the teluk belanga and cekak musang neckline can only be worn by those who are in the royalty family or even the sultans. As time passes and rules have changed, those designs of baju Melayu have also been worn by regular citizens. As for baju kurung, it is widely worn by all the females no matter the rank. Baju kurung is simply a loose knee-height blouse with long sleeves and often worn with a sarung or skirt. Some of the different styles of baju kurung that already existed back in the day are teluk belanga, cekak musang, kurung kedah, kurung pahang, and kurung perak. The difference between these designs of baju kurung are in the stitching of the neckline and a slight change in the shape of the blouse. While for baju kurung perak, the style of baju kurung is actually worn with pants, almost resembling the baju Melayu. As time goes by, there are many types of baju kurung styles that have been produced. In the modern times, most baju kurung are decorated with colourful beads and laces. Both baju kurung and baju Melayu are often worn to attend formal gatherings, weddings, and religious ceremonies no matter the race. Besides Malaysia, there are also other countries that also wear baju Melayu and baju kurung attire. Those countries are Brunei, Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. Next, let's talk about the Chinese traditional attires. The traditional Chinese clothing are cheongsam or qi pao, samfu, changsan, tangsui, and Shanghai. These attires are actually from different ethnics of Chinese. However, I will only elaborate on the traditional Chinese clothes of the Han descendants, as most Malaysian Chinese are from the Han descendants. Essentially, the Han Chinese are those who migrated from Malaysia or were born in Malaysia. Most of them are descendants of southern China who arrived in the early 19th century to the mid-20th century. For the Han descendants, their traditional clothes are cheongsam and samfu. The word samfu is taken from the Cantonese dialect, which means shirt and pants. The clothing consists of a loose shirt with slits at the front with high collar and is paired with long baggy trousers similar to the pants for baju Melayu. Samfu is made out of thin fabric with minimal floral patterns. Samfu is usually worn by men, but there are also women who wear samfu, especially the elderly ones. Finally, the cheongsam, which is only worn by women. The features of the cheongsam are its high neck, the fitted shape of the waist, and the slits on the sides of the dress. Usually, cheongsam will be made out of soft fabrics such as silk and satin. Both of these traditional clothing are encouraged to be worn during Chinese New Year, preferably in the color red, as it is believed to give you good luck and scare away the spirits of bad fortune. And now on to our final traditional clothing for this presentation, which is from the Indian race. The traditional attire from Indians are dhoti and sari. Let's start with the sari. Sari is a piece of cloth measured at 4 to 9 meters of length that is tied around the body in different styles. The most common style is for it to be tied around the waist, while one end of it is placed over the shoulder and revealing the small part of the torso. When wearing the sari, it will be paired with a petticoat and a short-sleeved top called choli. The history of sari goes way back to the Indus Valley Civilization. The history of sari goes way back to the Indus Valley Civilization at around the west area of Subbenua, India. Finally, the dhoti. Dhoti is a male outfit made out of a long, white rectangular cloth that is wrapped around the waist, tied at the thigh, and then hung on the shoulder almost like a sari. The fabric is also decorated with small beads. There are also dhoti that comes in a fade yellow or milk yellow color. Dhoti is commonly worn during weddings and also during festive days. Overall, these traditional Malaysian clothes are very historic as they have their own reason of why they were created and also about the origins of where they came from. Furthermore, in relation of wearing the attires, it is not actually limited to the respective races. Anyone from any race can wear a traditional clothes from different races than their own. In Malaysia, we are so used to seeing people of other races wear baju kurung or baju Melayu. However, it's not that surprising as those two attires have been appointed as the national attire of Malaysia. There needs to be more variation when it comes to wearing a traditional outfit from different races. The more people do this, the more feeling of unity Malaysians will feel. And with that, my presentation about traditional clothes of Malaysia has come to an end. I hope you could get some understanding from this presentation of mine. Finally, I would like to thank you for staying till the end.